Binance asset shuffling looks similar to FTX maneuvers. That's the title of a Forbes article that recently came out. So we're going to be taking a look at that and what's going on with the Binance ecosystem and the FUD around Binance. Because here's the thing, Binance controls over 90% of all spot trading cryptocurrency volume. That means that anything that happens to Binance will affect every single person in crypto. It will affect your portfolio. Binance has received massive amounts of FUD, and some of it justified, some of it not so justified. But I will say this, that it appears that there seem to be groups that really dislike Binance badly and that have a vested interest in the failure of Binance. Now, the first groups that dislike Binance that has been part of this whole FUD attacks about Binance are Binance competitors. And yes, Binance has over 90% of the spot trading volume, which means that they essentially control all crypto trading volume. And most likely, I would bet that most exchanges do not like that. And since most exchanges don't like that, they tend to want to attack Binance. Now, the first one who did this was Sam Bankman-Fried. Sam Bankman-Fried went after Binance with his popular tweet saying that CZ, the CEO of Binance, is not allowed to go to the US. And he also, behind CZ's back, behind everyone's back, was bad-mouthing CZ, and this has been spoken about by Anthony Scaramucci, who walked around with Sam Bankman-Fried in order to promote FTX. Now, other exchanges as well have seemed to have this kind of a negative perspective on Binance, right? If you take a look at how they in the way that they address Binance or the way that they talk about Binance, most of you talk about it as this unregulated offshore exchange, and they do it in a kind of a derogatory manner. And a few days ago, CZ checked the CEO of Kraken saying that, hey man, why do you keep referring to us as an unregulated offshore exchange when FTX was an onshore regulated exchange? And he said in like that, it's almost as though anything that's not built or that is not onshore in the United States is inherently bad, which is not true. Now, the reason why I think most of these exchanges, Kraken, Coinbase, maybe blockchain.info, dislike Binance is simple. Binance grew too fast, and it grew for several reasons. Binance didn't have to comply with the same regulations that your Kraken, your Coinbase had to comply with. And that gave them an unfair advantage in the eyes of Coinbase and Kraken, right? Because when they were coming out, Binance was list any token under the sun, and they really fed into this degen mentality that people had in crypto. Now, people today might not realize this, that today we have Uniswap, we have PancakeSwap, we've got all these decentralized exchanges that anyone can use. But back in the day, you needed a centralized exchange if you wanted to do anything in crypto. Now, because of that, Binance filled that niche. They gave people whatever degen coin they wanted. A coin would launch today and they would have it on Binance. And Coinbase could not compete because of the regulatory hurdles that they had to face. So when Coinbase needed to do anything, they would have to go and ask for permission, and in many cases that permission would never come. And because of that, it gave Binance a massive competitive advantage. It allowed Binance to grow to become the biggest exchange that it is right now. So I think that these players view it as though it was an unfair playing ground that benefited Binance, and now Binance is the beneficiary of all of that. And the growth that these other companies could have experienced was essentially taken away. So because of that, I do see that there's a reason why they could be behind some of the FUD against Binance. There are reports that you have these other centralized entities, other big companies in the crypto space reporting Binance to the authorities. Right now, that tells me that there's definitely, it's not all happiness and paradise. Not everyone is getting along well. Now, the second group is obviously the regulators. The regulators are in it for Binance. If you take a look at what's happening around the Binance ecosystem, BUSD has just come under attack, and it looks like it might have to wind down and close down shop. And Coinbase is even delisting BUSD. And I think that BUSD is not a Binance product, but I think that BUSD is being attacked because of its relationship with Binance. BUSD is a stable coin issued by Paxos, and they have a relationship with Binance that allows them to use the Binance branding on their stable coin. So you have that issue as well. Now, all this FUD could really have massive implications for everyone's portfolio in the crypto space, because if Binance goes down, that will have huge implications for our portfolio. So I think this is extremely important for people to be looking at. Now, if you're looking at the Binance attack, if you're looking at the Binance Forbes attack, if you're looking at the attacks against it through regulators, this could be coordinated. I mean, this is so much so that even CZ has put a pinned tweet that talks about how to respond to FUD on his Twitter. Now, despite all this FUD, I think that there's a lot of things that they have been doing right, and I think that, which is why I think that it is unlikely that it will become the next domino. First of all, they do a lot of philanthropic work, right? Now, that has nothing to do with price, but I think it's just nice to talk about some of the good stuff that they do. They do a lot of work in helping educate people about crypto, in helping fund new startups. They do a lot of really good work out there. Nothing to do with price, but I think it's a lot of good work as well. Now, they built Binance Smart Chain, which is now the largest smart contract platform by users. It has the most users, and the key ingredient there is this. Now, this is why I think that Binance will most likely be safe. At least the BNB token will most likely be safe over time. If you look at the previous bull run that we're coming out of, majority of the new tokens that were launched by newbies were launched on Binance Smart Chain. The reason is simple, right? Ethereum was too expensive to launch. And though for us, people who are in the crypto space will tell you that Binance Smart Chain is just a copy of Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain has no real fundamentals. We can talk all this, and then we can talk about decentralization, about validators. We can talk all this crypto jargon that we understand. But for the ordinary person, they just want to deploy a smart contract. They want the cheapest platform to do it, that is users. And Binance fits that mold perfectly. So it might not be as decentralized Binance Smart Chain, but I think it's decentralized enough to allow people to want to come and build on top of it. So they've been able to do that. Now, if you pair that both, that they're the biggest exchange and they've got the biggest by users smart contract platform, I think the Binance token is pretty much safe. But the Binance exchange, the fact that it controls 90% of all trading volume tells me that they're most likely going to continue to be under attack for a very long time. Because if there's one thing that people in the crypto space do not like, it is centralization. So as long as they control the amount of volume that they control, they will continue to be a target in the crypto space. So these attacks are not going to stop, and they're going to continue. And the fact that they seem to have rattled the feathers of the regulators tell me that they've got the enemy that they're fighting is a big one. Having said that, one other key metric that I think most people are not looking at is we're in a bear market right now. Every cryptocurrency is down from its all-time high. But Bitcoin is down over 66% from its all-time high. Ethereum is down over 66% from its all-time high. BNB is only down 55% from its all-time high. That tells you that it is extremely resilient, and it is proven to be a better store of value than most of the traditional assets that we've thought of as stores of value. The numbers do not lie. There's clearly massive demand for the BNB token, and BNB token is proving to be strong despite all the FUD around it. Now, I will say this in concluding. Binance has massive attacks against it. That makes it risky. So the fact that it has good, strong fundamentals does not change the fundamental fact that it has massive attacks that it may or may not be able to handle. So I believe that Binance is part of the future of the decentralized finance ecosystem, but I also do believe that there is somewhat of a risk premium on it. So it's one of those that I think people should be cautious if they're getting into. The Binance ecosystem as well is one that I think is young and growing. We are starting to see a lot of really high quality projects start to deploy on Binance Smart Chain, like Uniswap talking about deploying there. We're starting to see some other real strong projects building around Binance ecosystem. So I think that the ecosystem will have massive value to it. But all in all, you've got to consider the risks and everything involved if you want to get involved into it. Anyway, guys, thank you guys for watching. And remember, this is not financial advice. This is me sharing my opinion and some of the things that we are seeing happening in the crypto space. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again next time.